Tips for antelope hunting. It's really going to depend on the kind of hunt you're looking for. If you're bow hunting, you got two options really. You're going to be spot and stock, or you're going to be sitting over water holes. Water holes is pretty simple. You're going to find a water hole, set up a blind, sometimes a decoy with it. The biggest thing with there is you may be spending a lot of hours in the blind, and they tend to get very hot. Make sure you're wearing comfortable well-breathing clothing. Make sure you have a lot of water and that kind of stuff with you. Spot and stock, a lot of times you're using a decoy. In that case, you're going to be covering a lot of ground. Antelope live in big country. So you're going to want a pair of lightweight, comfortable boots for covering all that ground. Sometimes you're going to want knee pads because you're in areas where there's a lot of cactus and that kind of thing. And it depends on whether you're going with an outfitter or not. If you're going with an outfitter, usually on private land, you don't have to deal with a lot of competition from other hunters. When you're on public land, there's going to be a few more hunters around. The antelope are going to be a little spookier on public land because they see a lot more pressure. Well, you're trying to beat their eyes. I mean, they have a sense of smell, but it's not like a whitetail. It's not like a deer. Using the terrain to your advantage, the best you can. The other thing is using a decoy, even just for moving. You may not be decoying the antelope in, but if you've made that sneak up, and you're a couple hundred yards away and you want to get closer, but you're really pinned down, sometimes just using a decoy and moving along slowly will allow you to get behind that next little bump, will now allow you to get to that next little ditch to where then you can make that approach. How far shots do you expect for antelope hunting? And again, that depends on the situation. Water hole hunting with bow, a lot of times we're set up in that 30-yard range. That puts the blind back far enough the antelope are a little bit more comfortable with it. Still well within most archers' range. Spot and stock, again, it depends on the archer's skill. I will practice out to about 70 yards. Usually you're in windy conditions and things. I really don't want to take a 70-yard shot, but being comfortable out to that distance gives you more confidence when you've got them in that 40 to 50-yard range. With rifle, it's a little different. Depending on the terrain you've got, a lot of times you have time to get a good shooting stick or a tripod set up. So with the right rifle, depending on how well you've practiced, 300 to 400 yard shots aren't uncommon. The kind of gear you're going to be looking for, the two most important things I would say is a lightweight pair of boots that supports you very well. More of a tennis shoe type boot, something that's lightweight, built for speed, built for moving around. The other thing is a good backpack. Because you leave the pickup following a herd of antelope, and you may think I'm only going to be out here for a half an hour, and 5 or 6 hours later you're still trying to make that move on the antelope. So having a backpack with you that's got some water in it, because a lot of times these are very hot conditions hunting antelope. A few snacks, that kind of thing. When hunting antelope in your open country, a rangefinder is almost a necessity. Most of us aren't very good at, antelope are smaller than deer. It's an animal you're not used to hunting, and judging distances in open country can be very challenging when, your only point of reference may be a fence post out in a field.